What is going on, you guys? My name is Rage, and we are back today with another quick video here of the Apocalypse Saga, as well as updated timelines. Now that we got recent announcement over Morgan Le Fay's return for the third time. So what does this mean for the rest of the timeline in terms of when we would potentially expect Apocalypse, but as well as how he can better prepare and anticipate what's going on now. So that said, guys, if we go ahead into the epic campaigns Apocalypse Saga, keep in mind Pestilence is still the only one that actually remains for us. But again, in last week's blog post, we got official confirmation that Morgan Le Fay is coming back for us for a third time with her Scourge event in a couple of days here to prepare. Again, you guys haven't ramped up yet. The Web Warriors and as well as the Dark Hunters, they're the two viable teams that are able to actually go through it. But I highly recommend Web Warriors and Dark Hunters serve a really good role in terms of being that sacrificial team. Now that said, previously I did establish this timeline here in regards to when we would potentially expect Apocalypse. As you can see, I don't think that's changed overall in terms of March 2023. I think that's a very reasonable time frame given this return. Now, what I wasn't expecting since the original video I made on this was that Pestilence, Morgan Le Fay, would be coming back here for a third time. And as you can see, it's actually slotted in before Rogue has even come back for a second time. So I've kind of added several dates here to keep in mind, but this also means, guys, for those of you preparing and getting ready for these events when they're coming out for the first time, it actually alleviates some pressure from us, especially us in the community and us we're preparing our characters and teams, because if potentially we're going to see these events run for 3 times before Apocalypse comes back, it just means that we have more time to prepare, more time to gain, investments into certain characters. Maybe we miss specific characters needed, right? For instance, Hulkbuster's event just wrapped up. Potentially, is there more opportunities in the future maybe that we can get him unlocked? Who knows? But that said, guys, you can see here, I've kind of revised now and added several key dates here in preparation. But overall, the logistics in terms of how this is projecting is on track. We can see that what's been updated now is Morgan Le Fay is coming back in September 2022. So like I said, in a couple of days, definitely rank up those shards when you can and take advantage of the rewards that come. But then shortly afterwards, we would expect that Famine, the Rogue Scourge event, should be following afterwards, preceding the newest Scourge event that we haven't seen, being Red Hulk. So I think the War Scourge Red Hulk is likely going to be middle to late September. That would make sense in terms of the timeline, especially making sense that Rogue should be coming back at least another time before Red Hulk comes officially. That way it's going to be on track in terms of the frequency and the timing overall. Shortly after that War Scourge, then I would expect that Rogue will be back for a third time, because that's the pattern we've kind of seen with Morgan Le Fay coming back 3 times before Rogue. We would then expect Rogue to finish that up before Red Hulk actually comes back a second time. And then in December, likely maybe early December, later December, we'll see a chance to finally unveil the final and last Death Scourge, which is going to wrap things up in terms of the events. Shortly afterwards, I would expect Red Hulk to come back as a third time, and then wrap things up again with a recap there with the Death Scourge. Now, where this does get a little gray is the fact that it's going to be pretty tight for, rerunning the Death Scourge, another 2 times before Apocalypse, because with this one being the closest to Apocalypse, there might even only be 2 instances that it gets run just because of the timing. But it'll definitely be interesting to see how that reruns, or could we potentially see a rerun of all 4 Scourges prior to Apocalypse, so that way any players that maybe started the game a month or 2 ago has more of opportunities to actually get all 4. And because of this being a full year event, that's a very likely scenario where they can rerun everything right before. But honestly speaking, it's really going to be up in the air. I think them running it 3 times though is definitely reasonable, because now I think a lot of players got Morgan Le Fay close to unlocking in the previous Scourge event. And now with the third running of it, I would expect most players to unlock them, and that would be a very huge asset. And plus, these are very, very powerful characters in the game that have kind of reshaped all the game modes in terms of where you can utilize them, especially arena, especially raids, and those are the end game stages, right? So yeah, guys, short and quick video for you all, just my thoughts overall in terms of the timeline, but it's always interesting. Quick tips and tricks here in terms of preparation means that we may not need to feel as rushed to be ready for these Scourge events, especially if we know that if they're going to be run 2 or 3 times, we have more time to prepare and more time to actually oversee, as opposed to preparing beforehand, especially if we're not sure. For instance, right now with War Scourge coming up, you know, which team is the best team? Is it Ravagers? Is it Heroes as Guardians? Is it Wave 1 Avengers? Are they gonna get some more reworks along the way? That is definitely up in the air for sure. I'm still leaning towards Heroes as Guardians for the War Scourge, obviously, based on the videos I've made, but I think having more reruns of these events, though, does give everyone more pivot space in terms of preparing and really anticipating and seeing what are the best teams, so that way you can invest in your gear and you can invest with your gold more effectively for these events. So definitely alleviates some pressure from the player base for sure. Let me know what you guys think though in the comments below, because I'm curious what you think of my timelines here. But I think this is the one that makes the most sense given everything that's kind of come about, and trying to keep everything equitable and fair. You know, for instance, doesn't make sense to run Morgan Le Fay 3 times and to make, you know, to run all the other events once or twice, right? I think there's got to be a balancing act somewhere. So there you guys have it. Hope you enjoyed this quick and brief video. Thank you as always, and I'll see you guys in the next one.